This is the elementary Sunday school lesson for this Sunday, September 16th. Um, Education is still at 10 o'clock, even though we're moving to two worship services. So um, this particular group will be a combination of elementary and youth because I'm out of town. I normally teach the youth, so Jessica will be in to help with the Sunday school lesson as well. Because we had such a big crew last week because of Children and Youth Sunday, I'm anticipating it not being as big this week. So that will hopefully work in your favor. But nothing wrong with having a lot of kids. So the story that they're going to do is called Stephen's Story. This is it in the Shine Bible. It's Acts chapter 6 and 7, and this is on page 287 and 286 of the Shine Bible. So the story, which you might already know, is what did I do with that? So Stephen is someone who's chosen to pass out food to the believers. He was very faithful and a very good speaker, and a lot of people were jealous of his abilities and therefore falsely accused him of things. And he was brought before the Jewish council and basically told people that they were betraying Jesus by acting this way. And they got angry and they stoned him to death. So it's an intense story, but I think the youth and the elementary kids can handle it. And it's a relatively long story here if you look at the page. It might be a good idea to have the youth read it to the elementary kids in a way to engage them all that way. There are a couple of great activities and questions. So the questions, which are on page 21 of the lesson I'll send you, they're always under wonder and reflect, they're okay. I wonder why people became so angry about what Stephen said and did. I wonder how Stephen had the courage to follow Jesus when people were angry with him, etc. But on page 286 here in the Shine Bible, there's a question at the very corner under Connect, and I think it's a great thinking process for the kids. And it says, when have you heard someone tell a lie about another person? Think about a time when you wanted to get someone in trouble and what makes people mistreat others. I think this is a great question because it's showing the kids that how people reacted here can be considered, it can be normal to have a reaction of jealousy and to want to get people in trouble that you are jealous of, but how do we overcome that? Why do we have those feelings? What's the root of that? So those might be interesting topics for them to tackle with and talk about in like a small group in a round circle. So the activities and do what you have time for. The first one is a story. And again, this might be something the youth want to read over and talk to the kids about too. I've made about 4 or 5 copies here so they can spread it around. This is someone named Ted Studebaker. So he was basically someone who was born in the 40s. He was called to go to Vietnam and he did not believe in killing other people. So he actually went to Vietnam and taught people how to farm and ended up living over there and, helping people over there be productive, and married a woman and stayed there. And then I think the week after he got married, soldiers entered the village and killed him. So he is someone who basically, as he said, died for his beliefs because he felt like he was doing something that was following Jesus's example. So I think it's a good example. It's a striking example, right? It's something that really makes you go, wow, someone actually did that. And again, a good example for the kids. Then, and if they seem like they're not into another story, you can skip that. Or you might talk about or read this story while they're doing the create activity. Sometimes it's good to have them doing something with their hands while you're talking to them. So on page 22, this is the create activity. It's going to be a large sheet of paper, and it's in today's, I'll just read it to you, story. Stephen was distributing food fairly, and his hands, so he's using his hands to give food, and the people are using their hands to throw stones at him at the end of the story. So it's about what we use our hands for, how we use our hands as a choice. They're creating a mural on this large piece of paper that'll be in here called Hands for Peace. So we'll title that at the top. And then they're tracing their hands on the sheet of paper, and they can do more than one. I think they'll probably need to. I'd love to get the paper as full as possible. And then they write words or draw pictures inside the handprints that are things they can do with their hands to bring peace to the world. So each kid can decide for themselves what they want to go inside their own hands or their own handprints. I'll have markers, pencils, and pens. I don't have any crayons here. Probably pens and pencils so that they're not getting ink on their hands. If they want to use markers to write inside the handprint, I think that would be fine. All those materials will be on the bookshelf here in the temporary building so that you can get them out and use them as appropriate. And then save that poster. I'd love to display it on the bulletin board of the hallway for families to see. So those are the activities. If there's anything else here in the lesson that you want to do, that's great. And let me know if you have any questions. Like I said, I won't be here, but I'll be sure to answer any questions you have. Okay, thank you so much.